on this episode of Port Paranormal.
It's probably the best. With our group over here, we've got cameras, smartphones. Great.
We tour
Right.
Port Macquarie's hotspots.
We're here to just, reveal some of the history of the town as well. And
Felt a few things down here by the tree.
And we dive in head first to Port Macquarie's most famous photos and talk to the lady behind them. All that and more on Port Paranormal. Port Macquarie, New South Wales, home to over 75,000 people and founded in 1818 by this guy. This is John Oxley. When he sailed into Port Macquarie, he said he's never seen so many ferocious sharks. If you were to Google shark attacks at Port Macquarie, you'll see the amount of carnage and damage that these sharks have done. The energy given off is just crazy. It's my job to document and record all these sightings of the paranormal through Port Macquarie. With myself and Dane Groff, we will search for the paranormal through Port Macquarie and debunk the videos and photos that surround our town.
And through the life of the YouTube channel, we are going to investigate some of the videos and some of the images that have been taken throughout Port Macquarie. We actually have one person that has taken quite a lot of the photos in recent times, Laura, and she's also a lead investigator with Port Paranormal. So Laura is responsible for taking the photos at the end of the hallway, seeing a face. Laura, why don't you go through and tell us what you're feeling around that time?
yeah, just generally didn't feel alone whilst at work. So me and a couple of friends decided to get our cameras out, iPhones, and go for a little hunt upstairs at the top of the hotel.
Now, do you do this a lot?
Yes, I have done a bit. Yes.
So you know the place in and out?
Yeah, definitely. And I knew that I wouldn't come out with nothing. So never seeing anything whilst taking the photos ever. And
so you don't even review it on the spot, you review it a little later?
I review it once I get home, so I'm not too scared.
Good idea for everyone, because you don't want to get scared during an investigation, otherwise you'll deem it as unsuccessful and you may not ever go again.
Yeah, very impressed with what we found in two different consecutive shots. I've got one single spectrum at the end of the hallway and then another one with, it looks like there's two people there.
Yeah, and it's also, it's quite ghostly, because that second shot at the end of the hallway, it looks as though they're pulling apart from each other.
Yep. That doorway that they're in front of there, that I took the photo of, is a hotspot itself. A guy that lives on site there, constantly talking about shadows underneath his doorway, has had to move furniture in his house to feel comfortable even being near that door, and the light fitting constantly blowing and continuously breaking afterwards as well. So that doorway is just, has a lot going on there. So that was the main focus of the investigation that night, was to get that doorway anyway, and the show, it came through. So that was
Unfortunately, we can't tell you where this is. We will investigate it in the future, so keep an eye out. Hopefully we'll get the approval of the owners of that particular building so we can tell you exactly where it is, and you might be able to collect evidence yourself.
Now we investigate two ways. One is in a small group. The other is with you, a large group.
If this is your first time investigating, there's some etiquette that you'll have to learn, especially if you're using a recorder. Obviously there's a lot of us here, if we're all talking at once, you kind of think there's a lot of ghosts around, it's just you. So if you're interested, I do have it just over here, so once we're done here, pick it up. It also has some suggestions of software that you can review some of the EVPs that you've got. Now the two groups will split off here and down at the cemetery.
When it's all too much and I dive to free fall, I try to center myself at the center of life's seesaw. I crave the fun times, the sunshine entices. I want to rid temptation and unwind my vices. From the drugs to the girls and the beers I'm drinking, and remember what's at stake, staring in the mirror thinking.
Good.
I've been down this road before. It's been one hell of a ride. The challenge is to balance on that fine line.
During these investigations, it's always good to talk to the spirits, but we never get the opportunity to talk to Death himself. We are joined here by Death. How you doing, Death? Perfect.
I'll just say, yeah.
Bane.
I was going to
Next.
do that about the cemetery, like, oh, here's John Platt. He was the first gay man in Port Macquarie.
Just make sure.
Yeah.
Says, oh look, there's my uncle. He died. 18. Not my uncle. Oops. Did anyone find anything? Anybody see anything? Huh?
Jared thinks he saw the street sign at the top of the hill next to the church.
I saw the street sign.
He reckons it was shaking from side to side.
Oh really?
Away.
Do you take a photo of it?
It's driving me insane, blowing up. I feel here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Hey, baby, you don't recognize me anymore. Hey, baby, I'm the same guy, and this is just a different tour. Hey, baby.
I've got two people in my group that seem like they're quite empathy-wise with the ghost. And sorry, what's your name again? I'm so bad. Robbie and Jared seem to have just said statements that I don't know. They feel. Robbie said that when we walked up around near the old historic well here, she had the feeling of babies in the well.
Wow.
And when Jessica came up to the well, she said, "Is there still water in that well? Is there still babies in that well?" My friend Jess, and she doesn't even know why she said that.
Well, I can fill you in on that.
Well,
there's still water in the well, but it's water that's come in from storms, because the well was blocked up in 1930 when town water came on. They threw tree trunks down the well and blocked it all up with refuse. But I heard a story, quite a well-known story, about a young girl young blonde girl who died, and her spirit was wandering Port Macquarie for some time. The guy on my tour's father, who was a ghost whisperer, lives in Granite Street, has apparently been helping spirits across to the other side for some time. The story I've heard is the reason she was wandering is that this is in the 1800s she died. Her parents left Port Macquarie after she went missing and she wasn't found. And when they left, they went back to Sydney before her body was found. So she was apparently lost, wandering, looking for her parents. It wasn't until several months after her death that somebody was drawing water from the well one day and said, "Geez, this tastes and smells a bit funny." They sent a man down there, and the decomposing body of a young girl was at the bottom of the well. And everyone in this area had been drinking and bathing in that water for about 3 months.
Wow.
When was that, the 1800s?
Yes.
so
Wells were built in the 1820s by the convicts. Same times. Same bricks in that well are used in St Thomas's Church.
Wells, like in Kitchen, like people would dig up our yard to sand a well.
Yeah.
Like in Kitchen.
There could have been well from like a residence that was out there. And the main wells that are in the centre of town, you've got one here, you've got one on Munster Street, one at the HW, overlooking HW. Is that? There's two. Yeah. Two up in the HW, overlooking the headlands there. And those are there's more, isn't there?
I've been told there's one on the grounds of St Thomas's.
Yeah.
Oh, primary school?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a well there.
Oh, look, there was a hell of a lot more that was actually filled in and knocked out. I mean, there were hundreds of wells around. They used to sink them everywhere, but just a few have remained.
Isn't there one near the Presbyterian Church as well, just up from there?
I'm not sure.
That's the one.
That's the one we did on the school tour.
Yeah, that's the Munster Street. That's where the women's factory was.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. There's either going to be a lot of energies tonight and it's going to bring out some spirits, or there's going to be too many energies and they're going to feel a little bit...
They're going to be scared.
Yeah. So it's about directing the correct energies and knowing that we're here. We're not here to hurt anything, and we're here to just, reveal some of the history of the town as well, and find out what's hanging around. So we might just head over here first, guys.
There's a candle or something.
There's something. What the? There wasn't in there before. Guys, can you? There just seems to be like a light up in there.
There's like a candle.
There's a light. I'm serious, man.
There's a candle lit in there.
What is it? Was that on before? No, it wasn't. It's not a candle. It seems to be a light that might actually
some sort of a light. Yeah.
And it wasn't on before, was it, Jason?
Well, I couldn't see it from up that
I
angle.
couldn't see a light.
Not from up here, but if you get down low.
Okay. But I was like this before. Okay, yeah.
To the bottom
See, life's a beautiful struggle. I record it. Hope it helps you maneuvering through yours. Stay in the lab at night.
So tell me, family, now what do you think? Watch it all go down that great big sea.
How you feeling?
Freaking out a little bit. As I said, I'm not usually sensitive at all to this kind of stuff, so it's pretty freaky to actually find.
That's cool.
Possibly fun.
No, I think it's something on the other side, like a traffic light or something. I don't know. We'll have to go around and have a look.
Now there's two.
Yep.
There's...
No, it's the lights, I think, from the other side.
Now they've disappeared.
Yep. But there's all.
A few of the girls and stuff felt a few feelings, I guess you could say. We've got a few sensitives in our group, or people that are susceptible to spirits, and they felt a few things down here by the tree, but apparently it's gone now. But I had me recorder going, and we just had a good talk about paranormal, a few theories,
cool.
What they thought, and it's been good so far.
Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit me get up. First shot, come strut walking, a little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious, somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby's for the game. Nope, y'all can't copy yet. Bad moonwalking, and this here is our party. My posse's been on Broadway, and we did it all way. Chrome music, I shed my skin and put my bones into everything I record to it. And yeah, I'm on. Let that stage light go and shine on down. Got that Bob Barker suit game and Plinko in my style. Money, stay on my craft and stick around for those pounds. But I do that to pass the torch and put on for my town. Trust me, on my INDEPENDENT shit hustling. Chasing dreams since I was 14 with the 4-track bustin'.
So that's really cool. We just all walked up here and what's your name again, sorry? Robbie's had the feeling of babies near the well, or babies in the well, and Jess has just come up and said, is there water in the well, is there babies in the well? That was just what she said, so it's a little bit funny. This well's been here for years, and as children we'd come down and take, it's made from convict bricks, as you can see, but we used to just come down and hang around this well.
for roads untraveled. Weep not for paths left alone. 'Cause beyond every bend is a long blinding end. It's the worst kind of pain I've known. Give up your heart left broken, and let that mistake pass on.
A couple of weeks ago we had a lady phone us saying that this area around us had some paranormal experiences. The story is, back in the 1960s, they used this place for sacrifices and devil worshipping.
I got a feeling that I'm rotten on the inside. A bad apple in a barrel full of good ones. More baggage in a carousel of lost love. This old heart won't travel like it would once. I should have caught the train all the way to Babylon, instead of stopping at the bottle shop to get my Babylon. And now I'm in the cell again, looking at my bloody hands. Surely there's some more to life than pissing on in dizzy vans. My father tried to warn me, life comes with ups and downs. No man can live forever, so make the most of now. Oh man, my heart is breaking, my bridge is burning now. And I don't know if I could keep this up. I'm thinking maybe I should leave this town. I got the